Tennessee baseball is back in the win column again tonight over Alabama State 10-2. And we'll discuss what stood out to me, what I'm looking for moving forward, and, a little bit going into this weekend, a big weekend series against Ole Miss. Make sure you hit the like. If you know anybody that's not run across the content, share it out. Have them check it out. See what they think of it. Leave me some feedback on that as well. And then, lastly, if you've not subscribed, you like the content, hit that subscribe button for the latest updates as well. Tennessee bounces back 10-2 tonight. You look at it on paper, you just looked at score and you think, well, that's a game that they just dominated from start to finish. But really, it was 2 innings. It was 2 innings going into the bottom of the 4th. It's 0-0. Reese Chapman starts off with a home run. Chris Newstrom falls with a home run. And then things go from there. Tennessee goes for 8 runs in that 4th inning. And it capped off with Newstrom coming up again with a 2-run double that capped off the 8 runs in that inning. Tennessee then goes scoreless again for the next 3 innings. Bottom of the 8th inning, though, they get 2 more runs. Capped off with Newstrom hitting a ball up the middle. He beat it out. Heck of an effort by him to slide head first going in, but he had it beat out. They did throw it a little bit wide. I don't think it matters even if the throw was on time. To me, I thought he was safe. So great job by him tonight. And we'll talk more about Newstrom here in just a few minutes. But looking at the lineup tonight, you had Curley went yard, Chapman yard, Newstrom went yard tonight. And, the big thing that stood out to me tonight was we've seen these games where Tennessee just has the patience. 14 walks tonight. Only 4 strikeouts. I like that. 10 left on base. When you get that many on, tonight they had 8 hits. They had 14 walks. So they're on, 22 times right there. That's going to add, and you factor in 2 hit by pitch here as well. That's 24 guys that have reached first base on the night. Your left on base numbers are going to be greater in that regard. But again, Curley, I want to go through the lineup because I want to hit on some guys and where I think we go moving forward, and then I'll get to the pitching. Or let me just go through and then I'll come back to this. Curley 1 for 4. I'm going starters. Blake Grimmer 2 for 3, and we'll talk more about Blake Grimmer here as well. Had 2 walks. Inslee 1 for 1. He also had 2 walks. They pulled him out later on, substituted him. A lot of guys got to hit tonight. Andrew Fisher 0 for 1. Andrew Fisher tight game, had 2 walks. Bargo 0 for 1, had 2 walks on the night and a run scored. Chapman 1 for 2, home run, an RBI run scored on the night. Newstrom started at second, 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, a home run, a double, a single for him. Abernathy started in left field, shifted over to center field after Hunter Inslee was pulled later on. He was 0 for 3. He did have a run scored. He had 2 walks. He had a stolen base on the night as well. And then Stone Lawless started behind the plate, and he went 0 for 2. He had 2 walks on the night as well. But if you go down the lineup, now guys who come in later, Antigua 0 for 1. You had Manny Marin, who was 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch once. Hunter High had no official at bats, but he walked twice. 2 runs scored for him. Backus 0 for 2 on the night. Levi Clark 0 for 1. He did have a sac fly and an RBI. He was hit by a pitch. Yes, he was hit by a pitch in the 8th inning. And then that's all for your offense. Come back to that in a minute. Pitching-wise, of course, the story tonight, A.J. Russell, 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He threw 21 pitches, 16 strikes. ERA stays at 0-0. Think you're going to continue to see him progress along the way. I don't see him going back to the weekends. I don't think anything's imminent as far as that. I think you're going to see him continue, based on everything I'm reading, the comments on. I think you're going to see him continue to progress him, maybe amp up his pitch count. Maybe next week against Bellarmine, he goes 3 innings, possibly. I still think it's a little ways away from him going back to the weekends. That's going to happen at some point. And, where's he going to fit in? It remains to be seen. Especially after what happened this past weekend, where pretty much all your Saturday, Sunday, well, it would have been Saturday, Sunday, all your guys who threw on Sunday had rough days. Even, Dylan Lloyd wasn't bad, but he finally gave up a home run too. So besides him, I mean, I thought Phillips was okay, had his moments on it. Snead had a rough day. Coon's control got him in trouble, and he hung some pitches along the way. Krenzel got lit up. Franklin got lit up this past weekend. How do those guys rebound this weekend against a really good Ole Miss team on the road? That bears watching to me. All those guys who threw Saturday, is that something they put in the rearview mirror? Or, is it something that we were concerned about moving forward? And that to me may factor in. They're not going to rush Russell into the weekend. It doesn't matter what happens. They're all about taking care of him in his draft year with him coming back from surgery the way they have. He's not going to get rushed into the weekend rotation, no matter if the wheels just totally fall off. They'll make do with it until he's ready. I can promise you that. But looking at it too, Russell went 2 innings, very encouraging, looked really good again tonight. Then you saw a lot of guys, Thacker, Breedlove, Banky, Sherman, Hunley, Crabtree, all went at least a third of an inning and recorded an out tonight with no runs given up. Combs went 1 inning. He gave up a home run, had 2 strikeouts. Nick Abraham finished, went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, gave up a run there in the top of the ninth as well. Pretty good night all around. And then, hitting on the pitching, where I'm at moving forward, and then we'll go back to the hitting. Russell obviously remains, I think they're going to continue to just build him up until it may even be closer to postseason when we really see them, what they really do with him. I'm interested to see where they go with him. Breedlove's a guy I like. I like his stuff. He's sitting at a 0.73 ERA. 1 1/3. He gave up a hit, had a strikeout, 16 pitches, 10 strikes tonight. Is he a guy that could get some look on the weekend? I think based on what he's done, I like his stuff better than others. Banky's a guy based on experience. He did it last year. He pitched in the College World Series. He pitched in high leverage situations. Continue to amp him up, continue to build him up, see where he gets. I think he's going to have to be a vital part at some point as well. And then the other guy out of everybody who pitched tonight is Crabtree. I like. He went 1 1/3, 2 strikeouts on that 2.53 ERA. Those 3 guys, I'm not including Russell. Obviously, Russell has to factor into the weekend. But the other 3, Breedlove, Banky, Crabtree, is 3 I'll look at that possibly could come in and help you on the weekends along the way. You've obviously got Loy, who's going to come in. He's been possibly your best pitcher this year. And he's he and Doyle, I like that combination because even though they're both lefties, they're 2 different style pitchers. And it's proved very effective so far. We'll see where they go with it, man, because I'm curious to see how Phillips, Snead, Coons, Krenzel, Franklin all bounce back after rough weekends last weekend. And all the guys have talent. Do they put it in the rear view? Do they move forward with it? And I think a lot of them, the biggest thing was their control. A lot of them had control issues last weekend. And when that happens, what happens? You end up grooving it. Texas A&M was seeing beach balls on Saturday. And it's a game of inches because what happens if Andrew Fisher, that ball he hit to right that was robbed, and they said the wind was crazy down there on Saturday. What if that wind pushes that thing out? How much different does that Saturday look? Because it seemed to me when that dude, hell of a catch, awesome catch by the Texas A&M right fielder, that sparked them, and it was on after that for Texas A&M. How much different would that Saturday have been? That could have been a blow. That could have been a backbreaker for them. But instead, dude makes a killer catch, and they roll after that. I'm really curious to see how these guys bounce back this weekend from these pitchers. I got confidence in them, but again, we've seen some of them with control issues recently. It's getting them in trouble. They're going to have to fix that in. And that's where I think if Russell continues to progress and moves to weekends, if you got guys with control issues, better watch out. Just telling you on that one. Back to the lineup. Here's where I'm thinking we go. Hopefully we get Keelan back. I'm still puzzled because I thought Keelan got spiked against ETSU, but they keep saying it's hamstring along the way. I don't know. I can't put 2 and 2 together on it. I would have thought he would have been back by now. Maybe they're just being extra precautionary with. Hopefully we'll see him back this weekend. He was Tennessee's best hitter up that point. Now, since Keelan's been out, though, the guy who's really benefited has been Dalton Bargo. He's one of the league leaders in SEC play in terms of batting average. His average up to 345. And you think about it, we talked earlier in the year, he was hovering around 200. It continued to creep up. Now he's caught fire in that Alabama series, and he's not looked back. Curley's going to be in somewhere. Curley's having a pretty nice season, hitting 317. Talked about Blake Grimmer. I said I'm coming back to him. Right now, to me, I don't know how you keep Blake Grimmer out of the lineup. He took advantage of some opportunities against A&M. He's hitting midweek. I would like to see him get some opportunity here. I don't see how you pull him out right now. Inslee, he's entrenched in that third spot in order in center field. He's done his job. He's hitting 376. Fisher, he's not moving. He's at 302. You're 5-6. That's going to be, tonight they went Bargo, Chapman. That's fine. No problem with that. Both of those guys are regular. You're not pulling either one of them at this point. Now it comes down to, obviously at catcher, it's going to be Peebles or Lawless along the way. Your last 2 spots, though, right now, to me, Chris Newstrom got an opportunity on Saturday, and he took advantage of it. And he took advantage of it again tonight. Based on the last 3 games, I'm not pulling Chris Newstrom out of the lineup. I'm not messing with it. And then that last spot, it comes down to, do you go Antigua with defense? Do you go Abernathy with speed? I think that's where it's at because Manny Marion, hell of a player. He's been in a slump lately. Average continues to go down. It's kind of the same with Levi Clark as well. They kind of hit those freshman walls, but they're guys who are going to be contributors. And probably again at some point this year, definitely next year on it. To me, it comes down to, do you go with defense and Antigua at short? Or do you maybe sacrifice a little bit of defense and go more offense because, Antigua's hitting 231. He's good to get a hit or 2, but I think Abernathy brings more. He brings more speed to the table. He's hitting 296. The way I'm looking at it right now, and this factors in if Keelan comes back, it gets interesting here actually because you're going, heck, man, I just don't. You're really at 10 players. To me right now, I'll probably go Newstrom, Inslee, Chapman. This is with Keelan back. Bargo at third, Curley short, Keelan second, Fisher at first, Peebles or Lawless behind the plate, Grimmer at DH. That's where I'm going right now, and I don't look back on it. I probably work in Abernathy in some situations. I still find ways to get Marion in. I still find ways to get Clark in, get some at-bats at some point. That's where I'm going based on when Keelan comes back. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Maybe that's not your absolute best defensive lineup, but it's a good defensive lineup, and it gives you more offense. I think I'll be curious to see how they go this weekend, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more that we'll see Keelan back here in due time because I think he's, no matter how good the lineup's going, you still want your best hitter in. It's pretty much common sense right there. But I'll have post-game videos this weekend. Again, it's Friday through Saturday or Friday through Sunday against Ole Miss. They play 7:30 on Friday, 5 o'clock on Saturday, 3 p.m. on Sunday. So I'll have wrap-ups on that for you. Portal videos, they're rolling out. As much as I hear something, I'm getting them out as soon as I can on that. Stay tuned for that. I had one earlier tonight talking about Rodney Rice, talking about Nate Ament, and a couple other targets in that video as well. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is Frank, House of Orange. Like, share, subscribe. Check out the link in the description for the channel memberships. $1 a month channel Patreon can go to greatly help out the channel. Or if you just want to say thanks, bottom right-hand corner, super thanks. They are greatly appreciated. Frank, House of Orange, have a great evening and go.